Today is not an ordinary day. Today carries a message that reaches beyond the ordinary, a message that comes directly from God. Congratulations, not for a holiday, not for a tradition, but for being here right now on this sacred moment. You are standing in the presence of something extraordinary, something that touches the heart and awakens the soul. I am Shi Heng Yi, and in this video you will uncover truths that remain hidden to most. Secrets of divine timing, the subtle signs that God sends to guide your life, and the quiet miracles that often go unnoticed. You will learn how this very day, December 25th, holds a power far greater than celebrations or rituals. You will feel the call of inner transformation, the invitation to embrace love, light, and purpose that stretches beyond ordinary understanding. Many overlook this day, passing it by as just another date on the calendar. Yet the divine speaks clearly to those who are awake, to those who are ready to listen. Today, you will discover why your presence in this exact moment matters, why your life carries meaning that even you may not fully see, and how a single moment of awareness can awaken a chain of blessings that ripple through your existence. Secrets of peace, hope, and renewal are waiting to be revealed. You will feel the weight of God's personal acknowledgement and understand why this message is unlike anything experienced before. Every word will resonate. Every idea will spark reflection, and by the end your heart will carry a certainty that changes perspective forever. Welcome to Shaolin Divine Flow, a sanctuary for wisdom, clarity, and spiritual awakening. Subscribe now, stay with us until the final word, and allow the divine message of today to touch your life in ways that will remain with you long after this video ends. The journey begins here, and it begins now. December 25th is more than numbers on a calendar. It is a threshold, a moment where the ordinary bends toward the extraordinary. Across centuries and cultures, this day has carried a quiet yet undeniable weight, a pulse of hope that stirs the heart without warning. It is a spiritual moment, a signal that something greater moves through time, touching lives in ways both subtle and profound. This day marks the birth of light in the darkness. It reminds us that no matter how heavy the night may feel, illumination always arrives. The stories and symbols that surround this date point not only to historical events, but to a timeless truth. Love enters the world in the simplest, humblest forms. A single spark can ignite transformation. A moment of pure intention can shift the course of a lifetime. December 25th embodies renewal. It invites reflection, a quiet reckoning with what has passed, and a gentle awakening to what is possible. Every heart present in this moment carries the chance to begin again, to shed the burdens of yesterday, and to embrace the unfolding of a new chapter. Hope is not a distant promise. It is alive here in this very day, reaching into the corners of life that often feel forgotten. Divine love whispers through this date, soft yet unrelenting. It reminds the world that beginnings are never too late, and that every life carries the potential for rebirth and transformation. The energy of this day calls for attention, for awareness, for alignment with something far larger than oneself. Those who feel it know it immediately, a subtle stirring, a quiet acknowledgement that life itself holds meaning beyond the surface. This is the gift of December 25th, a moment of awakening, a doorway to hope, and a celebration of the unseen forces that guide, protect, and illuminate every step of the journey. The birth of Jesus was never meant to remain a story trapped in the past. It was not placed in history to be admired from a distance. It was placed there to transform every human life that comes after it. This moment revealed something radical and deeply comforting. God does not stay far away. God steps closer. God enters the human experience. This birth showed the world that the divine does not arrive through power, control, or fear. It arrives through humility, closeness, and love. God chose to be felt, not feared, chosen to walk among human pain, doubt, and struggle. This was not a display of distance from heaven, but a bridge between heaven and earth. God with us is not a poetic phrase, it is a living truth. It means you are not abandoned in your confusion. It means your suffering is seen. It means your quiet prayers, even the unspoken ones, are heard. This message speaks across centuries because the human heart has not changed. People still search for meaning. still carry wounds, still long for reassurance that they are not alone. The arrival of Jesus showed that divine love does not wait for perfection. It meets humanity exactly where it is, in weakness, in struggle, in uncertainty. God came close so no one would ever say, "I am unseen." This message continues to move through time because it asks something simple yet powerful. Allow love to enter your life. Allow compassion to shape your choices. Allow faith to soften the hardened places within you. Transformation begins here, not through force, not through fear, through presence, through connection, through the quiet realization that life carries a sacred meaning beyond survival. This is why the message still speaks today. Because God did not come to change history alone. God came to change hearts. God came to walk with humanity step by step, breath by breath, reminding every soul that they were never meant to walk alone. At the center of this moment stands one truth, quiet yet unbreakable: God's love. Not the kind that is earned, not the kind that fades with mistakes, but a love poured into the world freely, without condition, without limits. The birth represents this offering, a reminder that love arrives first, before judgment, before rules, before expectation. This love does not ask who you were yesterday. It does not demand perfection today. It meets you as you are, where you are. That is why this moment still carries power, because unconditional love is rare in the human world, yet it is the foundation of the divine. The world often distracts the heart with symbols, lights, gifts, traditions repeated year after year. Yet none of these are the miracle. The true miracle is love choosing to enter a broken world and remain gentle. Love choosing to stay present even when it is rejected, misunderstood, or ignored. This love heals without noise. It restores without force. It transforms from within. When love becomes the center, fear loosens its grip. When love leads, resentment softens. When love is received, even the deepest wounds begin to breathe again. The birth revealed that love is not distant or abstract. Love is personal. It listens, it understands, it carries patience for the slow growth of the human soul. This is why the message continues to reach hearts across time. Because every human being, beneath all titles and struggles, longs to be loved without condition. God's love asks only one thing in return: openness, a willingness to let it flow through your thoughts, your words, your actions. When love becomes your guide, life begins to shift. Relationships soften, perspective widens, meaning deepens. This is the gift placed into the world on this day. Not something to be unwrapped by the hands, but something to be received by the heart. A love strong enough to carry humanity forward, one soul at a time, quietly reshaping the world from the inside out. Today, the message becomes personal, not distant, not symbolic. Personal, God is speaking directly to you, not through noise or spectacle, but through a quiet certainty that settles in the heart. You are wanted, you are seen, you are loved. These are not comforting words meant to pass the time. They are truths meant to anchor your life. Your existence is not accidental. Your breath, your path, your struggles all carry meaning. Even the moments that felt wasted or broken were never ignored. Divine attention does not wander. It remains steady, patient, aware of every step you take, even when you feel lost within your own thoughts. This message reaches you today because timing matters, because your heart is ready to hear something deeper than celebration, something deeper than routine. God is reminding you that your life holds purpose beyond survival, beyond obligation, beyond the roles you play for others. There is intention woven into who you are becoming. This is not a distant blessing spoken to crowds. It is a whisper meant for the soul, a reminder that you are not forgotten in the vast movement of the world, that your inner questions are known, that your quiet endurance has been seen. When life feels heavy, purpose can feel unclear. Yet purpose is not always loud. Often it unfolds quietly, through growth, through resilience, through learning to love more deeply than before. God's message today is reassurance, a gentle strengthening of the spirit. You are allowed to rest in this knowing, allowed to release the weight of proving your worth. Worth was never something you had to earn. It was placed within you from the beginning. This whisper invites awareness, to move forward with trust, to walk with patience, to allow faith to guide choices when certainty feels distant. Today is not asking you to change everything at once. It is asking you to remember who you are and why your presence in this moment truly matters. The deepest gift offered on this day cannot be held in the hands. It carries no shape, no wrapping, no price. It lives within you, waiting for attention. Inner transformation. This is the quiet offering placed into every heart, often overlooked because it arrives without noise. Peace is the first door it opens, not the kind that depends on circumstances, but the kind that settles beneath them, a peace that allows the mind to slow, the heart to soften, and the body to release the tension it has carried for too long. This peace reminds you that safety does not always come from control, but from trust. Forgiveness follows closely behind, not as a command, but as a release. Forgiveness is not weakness, it is freedom. It loosens the grip of old pain and returns energy that was trapped in the past. Forgiveness allows you to step forward without dragging yesterday behind you. Hope rises gently in this space, not loud optimism, but steady belief. Hope that whispers that change is possible, that growth continues even after failure, that light still reaches places that once felt closed forever. New life begins quietly, not through dramatic events, but through subtle shifts. A new way of seeing, a new way of responding, a new willingness to choose love where fear once guided decisions. This is rebirth of the inner self, unseen by the world, yet powerful enough to change everything. The real gift does not demand attention. It waits for readiness. When you turn inward, you discover that nothing essential was missing. The strength, clarity, and renewal you searched for externally were already forming within you. This inner transformation is the foundation for lasting change. It shapes how you speak, how you listen, how you treat others, and how you treat yourself. When the inner world begins to heal, the outer world follows naturally. This is why this day matters, not for symbols or rituals, but for the opportunity to begin again from within, carrying peace, forgiveness, hope, and new life forward with quiet confidence. December 25th opens like a doorway, an invitation extended without pressure, without force, an invitation to step toward light. Even while shadows still exist, light does not deny darkness. It simply refuses to be ruled by it. This choice begins quietly, in thought, in awareness, in the direction you allow your heart to face. To choose light means choosing clarity over confusion. It means responding rather than reacting. It means recognizing that every moment carries the power to shape the next. Light grows when attention is given to truth, patience, and understanding. Even small acts carry weight when they are rooted in awareness. This day also calls for love. Not love as an emotion that comes and goes, but love as a way of being. Love that listens before speaking. Love that softens judgment. Love that recognizes shared humanity beneath difference. When love guides actions, division loses strength. Fear loosens its grip. Living with intention requires presence. It asks that each step be taken consciously rather than driven by habit or impulse. Intention transforms ordinary moments into meaningful ones. Words become deliberate, choices become aligned. Life begins to feel less rushed and more grounded. Compassion flows naturally from intention, compassion toward others and equally toward yourself. It allows space for imperfection without harshness. It understands that growth is gradual. Compassion does not excuse harm, but it refuses to add cruelty to suffering. This invitation is not about changing the world in a single act. It is about changing direction, one decision at a time, one interaction at a time, one thought at a time. Light strengthens through consistency. Love deepens through practice. Intention sharpens through reflection. Compassion expands through humility. December 25th does not demand performance. It offers alignment, a chance to live more awake, more grounded, more connected to the quiet wisdom already present within you. When this invitation is accepted, life begins to unfold with greater meaning, not because circumstances suddenly change, but because perception does. These words carry weight because they are rooted in promise, Not promises made lightly, and not promises broken by time. They speak of peace that remains steady when circumstances shift, a peace that does not depend on comfort, success, or certainty. This peace settles deep within, creating stillness even while the world continues to move. Such peace does not erase difficulty. It changes how difficulty is carried. It allows the heart to remain grounded when pressure rises. It offers clarity in moments of confusion. This peace becomes an inner anchor, steadying the mind when external conditions feel unstable. Hope also lives within this promise, not fragile hope tied to outcomes, but resilient hope that stands firm through uncertainty. Hope that continues to breathe when plans fall apart. Hope that endures when answers feel delayed. This hope is not blind optimism. It is trust shaped by experience and strengthened through faith. Challenges do not disappear in the presence of hope. They lose their power to define you. Hope reminds you that difficulty is not final, that growth often unfolds through resistance, that strength develops quietly while patience is being tested. This promise reaches beyond emotion. It becomes a way of living. Peace guides responses instead of reactions. Hope fuels perseverance instead of surrender. Together, they create stability that cannot be shaken by temporary storms. Belief does not demand certainty at every step. It asks for openness, willingness to trust, even while understanding remains incomplete. In this space, peace and hope mature naturally. The promise is simple yet profound. You are not left alone to face life's weight. You are supported by something steady, unseen, and constant. When fear rises, peace reminds you to breathe. When doubt appears, hope encourages you to continue forward. This is how the promise lives. Not in dramatic moments, but in daily endurance, in calm decisions, in quiet strength, in the ability to move forward with steadiness, knowing that peace remains and hope continues, regardless of the challenges that unfold along the path. Beyond names, symbols, and traditions, one message rises above all divisions, a call that speaks to the human heart before it reaches the mind. Unity, love, peace. These are not owned by any single part, they belong to humanity itself. Across cultures and beliefs, the longing is the same: to be understood, to belong, to live without fear. This shared desire reveals a deeper truth beneath surface differences. People are connected by the same source, a divine connection that flows quietly through every life. Unity does not require sameness, it requires recognition. Recognition that every person carries value, that every life reflects something sacred. When this understanding grows, separation weakens, judgment softens, compassion expands naturally. Love becomes the common language, not spoken through words alone, but through presence, patience, and care. Love recognizes shared vulnerability. It sees beyond labels and roles. It meets others as fellow travelers on the same journey of growth and meaning. Peace emerges when connection is remembered. Peace does not demand agreement on everything. It asks for respect. It asks for listening. It asks for the willingness to coexist without hostility. This peace grows strongest when hearts remain open, even during disagreement. A shared destiny unfolds from this connection. Not a destiny shaped by control or dominance, but by cooperation and understanding. Humanity moves forward together, whether consciously or not. Each action, each choice, each interaction contributes to the direction of this collective path. Divine connection does not isolate individuals. It weaves them together. It reminds every soul that life is not meant to be lived in separation, that strength increases through unity, that healing accelerates through compassion. This call reaches across boundaries quietly, persistently. It invites awareness beyond identity, beyond belief systems, beyond inherited divisions. When this connection is felt, perspective shifts. The world is no longer seen as opposing sides, but as shared space, a place where understanding can grow, where kindness can ripple outward, where unity becomes not an idea, but a lived experience, carried forward through everyday actions and mindful presence. Today's message was never about a date, a tradition, or a story from the past. It was about presence, about remembering that light still enters the world, that love still reaches the human heart, and that renewal is always possible. You are reminded that you are seen, that your life carries purpose, and that peace and hope remain available even in uncertain times. This message speaks across boundaries, calling for unity, compassion, and conscious living rooted in divine connection. Receive this as a blessing. May love soften what has been heavy. May peace settle where rest has been missing. May hope rise gently within you, guiding each step forward. Renewal does not arrive through force. It unfolds when the heart is open and the spirit is willing. If this message resonated with you, support the channel by liking this video and subscribing to Shaolin Divine Flow. Stay connected for more wisdom, stillness, and guidance on the path of inner growth. Carry this truth with you as you move forward. Light walks beside you, love surrounds you, and every new moment holds the chance to begin again.